Hey guys, I was asked recently how I got into laughter and whether I had a video somewhere kind of sharing my laughter story, my laughter journey, how I came to be a laughter leader and why laughter is so important in my life. They didn't ask it in that many words. But I realized, no, I didn't have a video anywhere. I didn't have any particular video, blog post, anything to share my laughter journey. So I wanted to jump on, hit record, and just share with you exactly where it's all begun, where it's come from, and maybe where it's going. I don't know. I haven't really scripted this video. So winding it all back to 2009, I was working at a radio station in Cairns in northern Queensland in Australia, and I really loved my job. I was also working on a party tour at the time. I was working in marketing for the radio station as well as on air, doing giveaways and things like that in the mornings. And a lady came to Cairns and she was running a laughter leader training. Who even knew that this existed? Not me. So she wanted help from the radio station to promote it, right? She came on the radio station, she promoted this event that she was running for people to become laughter yoga leaders, and she did a session with our team as well. Now, when we did that session, it was the best thing ever. So for those of you who don't know what laughter yoga is, I'm just going to pause there for a second. So we were clapping and chanting, we were doing deep breathing, we were doing laughter exercises. I remember specifically like riding my laughter motorbike around the room, and I was just like, this is the best. It's so playful, it's so creative, it's so fun, it's so like just childlike playfulness that I think adults really, really need. And then I was like in my early 20s, so it's not like I wasn't playful. I mean, I still am today. But I just really saw this as something amazing for adults. So I signed up straight away for that lady's training. I'm sure she had no idea that she'd attract someone within the radio station to do that. However, I fell ill with dengue fever and was sleeping 16 hours a day, totally bedridden. Could not go to the training that she ran. So I kind of mentally marked it down as something that I might like to do with my life then and there in 2009. Now, fast forward to 2013, I've done a lot of traveling, worked in a lot of different industries across different areas and cities of Australia, and really decided to leave corporate to follow my own path, even though I had no idea what that might look like. And laughter yoga was one of the things on the list. Photography, I was really into travel photography, blogging, journalism. That was sort of where I was thinking I would start to lead things. So as part of that, did my laughter yoga training, really, really enjoyed it, but actually did pretty much nothing with it until a few years later, when I started going regularly to a laughter club in Bondi that my friend Connie Costa runs. And I'd met Connie when I trained in laughter yoga, but we weren't friends or anything at that time. We just knew who each other were. And one of the girls I trained with in laughter yoga had a session come up, a yearly session that she did with a bunch of ladies, kind of like a community group. And she couldn't actually do that session because of her day job. The time and date that they wanted this particular year, she couldn't do it. So she asked Connie to do it, and Connie couldn't do it either. So Connie said, hey, what about Bianca? I'd started going back to the laughter sessions and blah, blah, blah. And so I ended up doing this session, my first paid laughter session ever, and my first session that I'd really run in like years. basically since I was trained. That was the first session I really ran for a group outside of my boyfriend and housemate who got roped into it. So that's kind of where getting paid to laugh all began for me. And so from there, I at that point was working in my coaching business, trying to make that work. And I'd gone through a lot of anxiety in that process, in starting my business. I'd basically had a breakdown, like a real identity crisis, waking up every single day super anxious. Before I'd even open my eyes, I would feel anxious, like buzzing in my stomach, and I'd be like, oh, it's here already, and I haven't even like had a thought for the day, like I've just woken up. And it was really difficult, really difficult to have that going on every day. I was broke as heck. I was trying to make this new business work. It was a new industry to me. Online business and starting my own online business was new to me. All the technology around that, running webinars, sales funnels, like all this stuff was so new to me. And while I'd been doing programs and learning about it, also investing a lot of money, which kind of further stressed me out financially and mentally, I wasn't really getting anywhere. And that was really difficult. So at that time, I can't remember the exact order. Around the time I did the session for my friend Alex for that group, I had decided, because I'd been doing YouTube videos for my coaching stuff, kind of motivational videos or little tips and tools and tricks for coaching, why not do a laughter session? Like, I'd been going to a lot of Connie's sessions. I thought it was fun. And I was like, why not do a few laughter yoga sessions online? And little did I know that they would become my most popular videos. You know, years down the track, when my coaching videos had like 50 something views and my laughter videos had in the thousands, I was like, okay, there's something going on here. People really want this. So that was the YouTube side of things and where the YouTube videos started, and they're still my most popular laughter videos to date. And I think I did them, it's 2020 now, I think I did them in 2016 or 2017. And they're where all my subscribers and things come from. Not all, but most. But at the time, I had no intention of working in the laughter field or whatever. I was just literally just turning on the camera to have a good time and run a laughter session and kind of practice and play and just have fun. Now, when I was going through all this anxiety and stuff, I actually knew what was good for me, and I knew what would help me to start to shift this anxiety. I knew exercise was good, and I knew laughter was good, very good. So I created a challenge. I used exercise and I used laughter, and it took a long time. Like, I had the anxiety for extreme anxiety for quite a while, extreme for me at least. I wasn't having panic attacks and things like that, but it was the worst level of anxiety and the closest to what I would call depression that I've ever experienced in my life. It was a really rough time. So I decided to run a laughter challenge. 7 days, I would get up, I would do like a laughter session. They ranged from like 20 minutes to half an hour from memory. And I would do it every single day. So 6:30 or 7 in the morning, roughly, I would go out in the suburb of Cronulla where I was living, beachside suburb, heaps of people outside at that time of the morning, exercising, swimming, riding bikes, running, whatever, walking. And I would literally just stand out in public, turn my camera on my tripod and run a laughter session. And I felt amazing. And people were joining in with me. People were joining in on the laughter and tuning in day after day, and I was really nervous at first to make it a laughter challenge. It's not called a laughter challenge. It was called Start Your Day Shining. And in the first day or two, you know, I started with other practices, and I can't remember exactly, like gratitude or breathing or other things. And I would kind of ease into the laughter. And then a few days in, I was like, whatever, like, let's just do a laughter session. And then they basically became laughter sessions from there. And people were really responding well to it, the people who were tuning in every day. And it was really cool. And I also knew that other people needed this. I had a message from a friend who was going through her own little identity crisis and anxiety and not really knowing what's going on in her life or how to deal. And that also had inspired me to do this challenge for myself and for other people. So fast forward another few years, my coaching business is actually up and running. Yay! I'm actually getting paying clients. And I get and Connie and I are friends and more closely connected at this stage. And I get a call or message from Connie asking about supporting a guy called Dave Berman when he comes to Australia with this thing called Laughnosis, and helping him to kind of launch that in Sydney, find a venue and that kind of thing. And so I helped Dave. I did not know what the hell Laughnosis was. Basically, he described it as like this marriage or joining of he's a clinical hypnotherapist, but conversational hypnotherapy and laughter, right? He's a laughter yogi and a clinical hypnotherapist, and he and another guy, James, I'm forgetting his last name now, I feel it starts with an H, created this thing called Laughnosis. Laughnosis was and still is one of the most impactful trainings I have ever taken. And if I can find the link, I will get it and pop it in the comments or caption of this video, because it revolutionized the way that I coached. It allowed me to see how powerful laughter can be in a coaching situation. And not only see it as in, here's how to do it, like really understand why it's so powerful. So for one, laughter opens the critical faculty, right? It bypasses the critical faculty, which is basically the gateway to the unconscious mind. So when you're like saying an affirmation to yourself, or when you're thinking, oh, it would be so good to start my own business, and you get that resistance and you feel that tension inside you, it's basic, or you might even hear the thoughts of your unconscious mind going, yeah, right, that is so not happening. That's so not true. We're definitely not going to make that much money. We're definitely not going to have a successful business. You are definitely not as fit and beautiful as you keep saying in the mirror. Whatever it is, you have that unconscious resistance because things are out of alignment with the identity that you've built in your life. Now, I could totally go into that right now, but I won't. So laughter allows us to bypass that gate. It's like, ha 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 ha, like we're jumping the fence just with laughing. Which means that we can get into the unconscious mind and plant seeds for positive change. Now, this concept alone, it's giving me goosebumps right now, but that excited the heck out of me. And that reality that we can do that with laughter really, really changed things for me. I started using laughter in my challenges, in my programs, in the workshops that I ran, and I started to see major shifts in people. Fast forwarding a little further, to 2018, I've now traveled a bit more. I've been running my coaching business and actually taking clients for a good couple of years. A couple of years by the time I did this training. And I ended up training in laughter wellness. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, when I signed up to train in laughter wellness, I did not know the difference between laughter yoga and laughter wellness. And if you want more info on that, like in depth, I do have an extensive video that explains exactly where they both began, the major differences in the structure of the sessions, the differences in the philosophy behind the sessions, etc., etc., etc. To put it in a nutshell for now, laughter wellness is, in my opinion, much more mindful, it was designed that way. A much more full practice and holistic practice, because it not only sparks laughter, but it allows us to really elevate and build and boost other positive energies. So building gratitude, building love, building appreciation, building pride and acknowledging the things we've done and achieved and accomplished in our lives. That's one of my favorites. It also allows us play. We don't have to laugh in a certain section. We can play. We can sing a song, or we can dance, or we can play a game. So I find it to be a much fuller system. And I also probably personally prefer it because it ties in with coaching so nicely, because it was designed in a way that the exercises should be able to be taken away from the session and actually implemented in somebody's life. Laughter yoga, you might be, riding your laughter motorbike, like I mentioned before. Now, if you're stressed out in a work situation, you're not going to ride your laughter motorbike around the room or swing across the room like laughter Tarzan or whatever. These are practices that you can take away and bring yourself back into a space of centered, calm, and clarity, or just release negative energy, right? And boost those positive ones up, the positive hormones, that is. So I studied laughter wellness while I was pregnant with my son, and I loved it. I loved the training. I loved how in depth we went with the training, and really, really gained a lot from the mentorship that I had from Connie, who was my friend, Connie Costa, who was running the training, because I feel she went above and beyond, and just the way that it's all designed, that training was so good for me, because I'm someone who likes to just kind of be like, I'll just wing it, don't worry about it. And the planning that I was kind of forced to do through the training, because I'd have to plan the session, put my plan in for review, get feedback on my plan, adjust if necessary, then run the session, then do reflection on the session, which is all so important. And I'd done that through coaching. Obviously, you can't plan a coaching session per se, but the reflection aspect was really, really powerful as well, and getting feedback from someone on either my reflection or my reflection and the actual session if Connie was there. That was huge. So I did that. I trained in the laughter wellness. I started to do a little bit more with it, more YouTube videos, started running some sessions virtually. And I also then got approached by the NFL in the States to use a clip from one of my very first laughter yoga video. And my YouTube had been growing and growing organically, even though I just had this handful of videos available. And so I knew that there was something to this. I knew that the world was looking for more laughter, because they were finding me. They were finding me through chakra healing programs, through safe weight loss programs, through neural or limbic retraining programs, and just through looking for a good old laugh. So where am I now? Where am I with the laughter stuff now? Well, I'm currently partway through a training in quantum play. So quantum play brings laughter, brings play, brings us into our bodies and out of our minds, and allows us to shift through whatever we're going through, rewire our system, shift out of patterns of thought and belief that we've previously had, and reframe things. It's just frigging amazing. So I'm currently partway through my studies with that. I am also running laughter in-person sessions in Sydney. I'm running not in person, online sessions. I've started to do some corporate sessions as well, group laughter sessions once a month. That's free for your first time if you've never come along to a live online session or in-person session with me. You get to come along for free. And I'm currently looking at where I want to take laughter, because I know that there's a big market for this. I know that there's a big need for this. More and more people have been subscribing on YouTube, reaching out, even just saying, yeah, the world needs laughter during these times with lockdown, with isolation, with COVID, with so much uncertainty in the world. We need to be able to release our stress. We need to be able to laugh. We need to be able to just forget about the problems of the world or our lives and come back into a place of balance and centering, calm and clarity. So I have a zillion ideas. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please drop them in the comments of this video. I am also looking at our kids' laughter, wellness, mindfulness channel. I actually started recording for it last year. So that's a thing yet to be launched. And yeah, just feeling into what's good. In about a month's time, I'm doing an online laughter session for a rewiring wellness retreat, which is virtual and free. So that's something amazing as well. And who knows where it will go from here. I know it's going to bring big things, and I have a vision for laughter and intentional laughter, whether it's laughter wellness, laughter yoga, whatever, being a practice that is known like the same way yoga is, right? It's known, people do it, it's normal, it's not hippie, it's not weird. Remember, yoga used to be like that. It used to be hippie, weird, whatever. Maybe girls did it, guys didn't, whatever. Like, it used to be a strange and kind of foreign concept. Now, I don't know what it's like where you are in the world, but you can't really walk around in a neighborhood here and not see a yoga studio. Like, they're everywhere in the major cities, at least. Like, I know when I went to visit my dad, I had to go for a little drive, but that's it from me, guys. It's been a bit of a ramble and a rant, but I hope it's helped you to understand a little bit about my laughter journey, my laughter training, and where I'm looking to take things in the future. Keep loving, keep laughing, and remember, as always, you're creating everything in your life. It's so possible for you to create anything that you can imagine.